Yo, what up? Preach Christ or die. With all the stuff going on with I made a video about Jamal Bryant, who I think is one of the worst pastors ever. You know what I'm saying? That's saying a lot. But the things that he says and does as a pastor, and with this other pastor from New York, Whitehead, who got indicted by the FBI today, it's letting me know, like that's why the Bible says what it says about people being pastors, and how if you're a believer, no, not everyone's called to be a pastor. Not everyone's called to lead a church. We are all called to have our own ministry and to witness to unbelievers. But not everybody is called to be a pastor. Why? Because that job is so serious. That job is to be taken very serious. The responsibility of a pastor, man, I'm not ready for that. And I don't know if I'll ever be ready for that. I'm not mature enough. I still deal with so many things that I'm like, I'm not comfortable enough to put myself in that position to where you really have to serve the people, man. And put yourself on the back burner. And when I see pastors like Jamal Bryant and the pastors like the one that got Whitehead, it's all about money. It's all about money and things. And it's about nothing wrong with you having that. But brother, you cannot have that. And I don't even like calling them brothers because I don't know. Either they're very immature and silly in the faith. And for somebody to be a believer that long, you know what I'm saying? And to be acting like that as a leader, man. First off, you know, that's not what the Bible calls pastors to be. And when I read what the Bible calls a pastor to be, I'm like, man, you know, I'm not ready for that right now. And there's nothing wrong with you not being able to be a pastor. We can't put that on everybody. We need people that's just laymen's out here. We need people that wherever you are at, that's your ministry where you at. If you're working here, you preach God there. We need people everywhere to be preaching the word. Man, we need people in the big businesses and the low businesses. We need people everywhere preaching the gospel. But we need people that's our pastors and everywhere. Even people that's like me, I'm convicted all the time of the way I act. Because I know that because we represent Christ. So with that being said, if I'm convicted of that, how much more if you over a whole church? And I see none of that, the shame and that comes with that. Like it says right here, 1 Timothy chapter 3, this is a faithful saying. If a man desires the position of a bishop, he desires a good work. And this is just the bishop. It goes more and more. You know what I'm saying? The more the leadership, the more the responsibility. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, temperate, sober-minded, of good behavior, hospitable, able to teach, not given to wine, not violent, not greedy for money, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not covetous, one who rules his own house well, having his children in submission with all reverence. If a man does not know how to rule his own house, how will he take care of the church of God? Not a novice, lest being puffed up with pride, he fall into the same condemnation as the devil. Now you read all those things, but he said for the men must be blameless. Blameless meaning your reputation ought to be out here of one who you can't attach sin to him. You know what I'm saying? He does not put in, and I'm not there yet. I strive to be. I'll pray one day, maybe. I'm not there yet. But that's what I mean. If you're going to be a teacher like this, no one's saying you have to be sinless. But that ought to not be around your name all the time. Like Jamal Bryant or the pastor at Whitehead and a lot of other ones. That ought to not be what you always into. You know what I'm saying? You ought to not have scandal around your name all the time. The husband of one wife. Man, they got preachers out there talking about you can have 3 or 4 wives. Why? Because Solomon did it. Because David did it. It's like, bro, look at the lives that they had because of that. Just because God, I'm not going to say allowed it, because God didn't stop him from doing it. You think God blessed it? You think that was wise? And then now you get to a point where he's telling you in the New Testament that is not the way to go. But people still not going to listen. That's not wise. The husband of one wife. Temperate. Like slow to anger, man. Sober-minded. Of good behavior. Hospitable. Able to teach. Man, it's a big one. They ought to be able to be in that pulpit and teach soundly. The teach, and listen, I don't know the Bible as good as a lot of people, but I know foolishness when I see it. I know bad teaching when I see it. And I say this a lot, and I know I'm not that off, man. It's a shame. I really think 70 to 80% of the teaching that we see out there on TV and radio, mostly TV, is false, man. It's sad, especially on YouTube. And I know I'm on YouTube, but especially on there, it's false. You cannot depend on people. You have to go to the scriptures and pray to God that you get the word right. Not given to wine, not violent, not greedy for money. Whitehead. He's known for trying to look like Dapper Dan, you know what I'm saying? Like he's John Gotti or somebody. He's known for this. And I think he gets caught up in now. He got an accusation of taking from people, of bribing people, of taking. It should not be named among us. Gentle, not quarrelsome, not covetous. One who rules his own house well, having his children in submission with all reverence. If a man does not know how to rule his own house, how will he take care of the church of God?